It arrives on a Tuesday, because of course trouble likes Tuesdays. A mahogany case gleams on my porch like it wandered off a yacht. Gold trim, velvet lining, 10 immaculate Cuban cigars. Inside the lid, looping aristocratic script, "Happy Birthday." Signed, Martin Graves, my father-in-law, patron saint of old money and weaponized manners. I quit smoking 2 years ago. Martin knows that. Still, I admire the craftsmanship, then slide the box across my kitchen table that evening to my brother-in-law. "Scott, these belong with a guy who speaks fluent tobacco." His eyes light. He cradles the box like it purrs. End of story, I think. The next morning, my phone rings. Martin never calls, he summons. "So," he says, thunder tucked into 2 syllables, "how are the cigars?" "Oh, I gave them to Scott. He loves..." Silence. Then a detonation. "You did what?" Click. By lunchtime, Clara, my wife, calls in a whisper. "You shouldn't have given them to Scott." She hangs up too. The air gets thin. I don't know why I'm suddenly guilty, but the feeling moves in and unpacks. That night, I step into the Graves estate, chandeliers, ancestral portraits practicing contempt. Scott is slumped in a leather chair, pale and sweating, coughing like his lungs are trying to leave. Eleanor, the matriarch, flutters. Martin stands by the fireplace, sleek, controlled, watchful. "You gave him the cigars," he says, not asking. "Because I don't smoke." "What's the problem?" "Because they weren't meant for him." The room shrinks. 10 minutes later, Scott hits the Persian carpet, convulsing. Sirens, EMTs, the whole grim carousel. At St. Mary's, Dr. Hernandez tells us it's not tobacco. The cigar was laced with a toxic agent, deliberate. I turn to Martin for shock. I get calculation. Those cigars weren't meant for him. So, who exactly were they meant for? Detective Maria Alvarez shows up at my door at dawn. Ponytail badge, no patience for nonsense. "Walk me through it," she says. I do. "He knew you'd quit?" she asks. He knew. Her pen pauses. "Mr. Morrison, the facts look like this. Your father-in-law sent you an expensive gift he expected you to use. The gift was poisoned. Someone else smoked it. We're investigating. Attempted murder." I want to say it out loud and choke on it instead. Later, Eleanor calls me, not Clara. "Come alone." In a smaller human room I've never seen in that mansion, she wraps both hands around a teacup to stop the shaking. "Martin's always controlled," she says. "But since Scott got sick, he's burning papers in his study, letters, legal documents, life insurance forms with your name." The floor tilts. Headlights sweep the drive. "He's home," she whispers. I don't make it to the garden. Martin appears, immaculate as ever. "David." Unexpected pleasure. We do the polite dance. He smiles like a scalpel. Family is important. Everyone should understand their place. I leave with the certainty that I'm living on borrowed time and he's counting down the days. That night, Clara finally stops pretending. "At Christmas," she says, eyes wet, "he told my uncle, 'Men like him don't last long in this family.' I thought he was being Martin. He wasn't." The lab confirms it the next morning. Detective Alvarez slides a folder across a metal table. "Aconite," she says. "Wolf's bane. Old, efficient, almost invisible unless you look for it. 1 cigar at that concentration. Hours to cardiac arrest." "So he didn't want me sick," I say. "He wanted me gone." "We need proof he knew," she says. "Intent. A confession would be useful." I can get him talking. She weighs it. "We do it my way. Wire, backup. At the first sign of trouble, you walk." We stage it at the hospital. Scott's awake, battered but breathing. He smiles when I step in. "At least I'm alive to complain," he croaks. Then leather soles on linoleum. Martin arrives with expensive flowers and camera-ready concern. Such a terrible thing. he murmurs, arranging lilies. Who could imagine cigars so dangerous? It is odd, I say, feeling the wire warm against my chest. Cuban cigars don't usually come with poison? Manufacturing defect? The police think tampering, he replies smoothly. Someone with a grudge against the intended recipient. That would be me, I say. Since you sent them to me? Fortunate you passed them along, he says, eyes on mine. Why fortunate, Martin? The mask slips. For a heartbeat, I see the math behind the manners. You shouldn't be here, he says, voice turning to ice. You were never meant for Clara. You don't understand what it means to be a Graves. You're a problem. So you decided to kill me. I decided to solve a problem. The door opens. Alvarez steps in with 2 uniforms. Martin Graves, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of David Morrison. The performance cracks. Contempt floods in behind it. As they cuff him, he hisses, You ruined everything. You should have had the decency to die quietly. Clara is in the doorway, face shattered. Eleanor, behind her, finally lets the tears fall. The press devours the story. The mahogany box becomes Exhibit A. The wire, Exhibit B. The aconite, Exhibit C. Lawyers talk about intent and opportunity. The recording does most of the work. At home, the house is very quiet. Clara spends nights with her mother unlearning the religion of appearances. Scott heals, and when he finally laughs, it doesn't turn into a cough. I sit at our kitchen table, staring at the knot in the wood where the cigars once rested. That space should have been my ending. Instead, it's the hinge where everything swung. I didn't win anything worth cheering. Not money, not status, just breath. Just the right to keep making coffee on Tuesdays and answering phones that don't try to kill me. I survived. For now, that's enough.